how it is different from mathematics as such? Anyone? Yeah, Dhruv?
Sir, I think when it comes to statistics, the models are more fluctuating, whereas when it comes to math specifically, it is more determined and it's more concrete. So I think that's one difference.
Okay. Instead of saying more concrete, it is concrete. Yeah, it is concrete. So when we talk of mathematics, whatever we are doing, there is no two opinions about it, right? Whatever we do, there that's the answer, right? But in statistics, because it depends on the way somebody analyze it. Okay, so the same data can generate different understanding, right, in different people, in different analysts. So sometimes you see on a particular day, you can even, those who are sometimes checking on shares, trading. Okay, if you go to any site, money control or any other site, and you check sometimes for particular shares, there will be opinions, opinions polled, or even the experts give their own opinions, and that is there. So they all have same data. Whatever data is there is data till yesterday or till whatever previous period. So the data set available is same, but some analysts will give you a buy call. Some analysts may give you a sell call, and some analysts may will tell you that hold it. Don't buy, don't sell, whatever is your position, don't increase the position, don't decrease the position, let it be remain like that. So the same data gets analyzed in a different manner, and hence even the conclusions and hence the recommendations can also be different in statistics. So that's why whenever we are dealing with statistics, one has to be very careful, right? Because if you cannot just blindly just trust whatever statistics is thrown at you. You have to have your own understanding. You may go wrong, because statistics usually will always test your understanding. So but the whole thing is that you have to have your own way of analyzing it before you start believing on particular statistics. But without statistics we can't do anything, right? See, when it's not about just share market or any financial thing. It's about everything in a manager does, right? So when a manager, basically, what exactly is a job of a manager? Let us start discussing that. What do you think is the role of a manager, especially at lower or middle levels? What is the role of a manager? Why organizations need managers? You all are going to be management graduates. Yeah. So whatever is your understanding, because in management always there is no concrete answer as such. You can have your own understanding and doesn't matter. So what is the role of a manager? Yes, anybody? So let me just ask Arya. Arya Masurekar, are you there? Arya Masurkar, are you there? So if somebody is not answering, can I mark them absent? Arya, can I mark you absent? Shall I start noting down? Now I have asked Arya. So shall I start noting down the names who are not answering so that I know that these people are not in the class? Okay. So shall I note down Arya's name? So many people are raising hands. That means they all agree to my decision that I should note down Arya's name, isn't it? So let me just note down Arya. Arya Masurkar did not answer, so I don't know whether she is present or not. Okay, now, so I will be taking, whenever I ask questions, I will also take some names. So let me ask Dhruv and Ameya have raised their hands. Three people have raised hands. So let me ask Suchi now. Suchi, so what is your understanding
Sir,
of role of a
managers help to manage the operations in the businesses, and they help to manage the operations in the businesses and keep the operations going on smoothly.
Okay, so managing the operations. So the name itself, management manager. So managing the operations. Okay, good. Ameya, what is your understanding?
Sir, I just wanted to add to what Shuchi has already said. So managers also have to control a group of people under them. That's also something that is very
So
important.
yeah, people management, team management. Okay. Dhruv, what is your understanding?
Sir, in my opinion, decision making is a very indispensable and important part of the responsibilities of a manager, whether it's making decisions for themselves or for an organization.
So good. So basically, Vaishnavi, you want to say
Yes,
something?
sir.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm just
Vaishnavi.
adding on to all what these three said. So when it comes to marketing, there's a lot of data pertaining to the market dynamics and customer targets and budgeting and all of that. Also, that's why we need statistics for that as well.
Yeah, but no, the question is, what is the role of a manager as such? Role of a manager. What do you think? What is the role of a manager?
So
Dhruv
all the
said this
data that is
decision.
there, so you have to
Yeah, what?
analyzing all the data pertaining to it.
Analyzing, analysis. Basically, analysis and then leading to decision making. So okay. So I think whoever has said whatever they have said, they are partly right. So the operations must go on. So what Suchi said is also correct. That they have to make sure that the operations go on. Ameya said that you have to manage the people because running the operations, you have machines as well as men to be in control. So controlling the team under you is what is required. And as Dhruv and Vaishnavi said that okay, you have to analyze the data and take decisions. Yeah, so absolutely right. So decision making, as Dhruv said, is very important. And see, just imagine that always in any business or any activity in the business, if 2 plus 2 would have been equal to 4, always, or whatever means basically whatever you are doing, the result is decided always. Then it is just the question of motivating the manpower, right? So the manpower motivation, one is the salary they are getting, and maybe the owner himself, maybe he will organize some functions where they can motivate the people now and then. So then you don't require managers. Are you getting it? The things will run smoothly. Why? Because when you add a plus b, always you get c, or whenever you do this, always the result is fixed. So when everything is fixed or predetermined, everything, the profit is also fixed. When the profit is fixed, the manager, the owner knows that when I invest this much, I am always going to get this much fixed. So in this case, in this setup, operations will run smoothly. The people will be motivated because they will get the money, and maybe sometimes the owner himself will come and pat their back, so they are all happy. But that's not the case in reality. In reality, 2 plus 2 can become 0. in reality. So the issue is decision making. Managers, even though always we think that only the higher level managers make decisions. No, every day, even the line managers, the shop floor managers, they are taking decisions because lot of things are happening. Maybe the common resources are required for lot many activities, so they have to decide which activity has to be given preference and which activity can be delayed. Lot of problems come, right, on the shop floor, and they, at that point, you need decisions, proper decisions, because always there will be alternatives. ये भी कर सकते हैं, ये भी कर सकते हैं, ये भी कर सकते हैं, क्या करना है. Now the decision making is the important job, one of the most important job of the manager. But how the decision is usually made? Is it just always the gut feeling, or the manager, with his logic, he'll just say, maybe it looks like that sometimes, okay, but most of the times that logic comes from his own observations. His, maybe there is good amount of experience he has. That means what? He has seen the earlier cases. He has already collected data within himself, and he has analyzed it. And now the decisions are coming because of whatever his past understanding gave. If an entirely new situation comes in front of him, he will be as good as any other person. So the data needs to be collected, and when the organizations understand that, when the managers understand that our job is to make decisions, they start improving their decision making skills. They start improving their quality of decisions. Always you have to have a good scientific base for making the decisions. And managers, that is what is being taught to managers throughout management schools, that how you have to look at data or particular situations from different angles and analyze them, and then start taking quality decisions. So when you start working, you may start taking decisions. Sometimes initially your decisions may not be perfect or may not be good. You may be going wrong many times, but over a period, even you will start collecting experience, and then your quality of decision making will improve, and you will start taking correct decisions. So this is what is all about. So data collection and analysis becomes the most important part. So statistics usually is all about collecting data and scientifically analyzing it. Now when you say analyze data, somebody will analyze his own way, somebody will have another way of analyzing, as we have seen. But what is the best method? What is the best way of analyzing it, or what is the scientifically correct way of analyzing it, is what we are going to learn in this statistics. So there are various things, but see, for example, if the data is given to you, you can either find mean, you can either find mode, or you can find median. But which one is applicable or is useful in which situations, that has to be decided by you. Are you getting it? But what we are going to learn here is the different ways of analyzing the data and coming to a very reliable, okay, or confident solutions. I'll just read out a book. Actually, we are going to use the book Levin and Rubin, Statistics for Management. This is the book, Statistics for, I don't know whether you can see it properly, Statistics for Management, and it is Levin and Rubin. I am using 7th edition. So I'll just read a small, in the introduction they have a small paragraph, and it is from your field, so that is why I chose it to be read in the class. So let me just read it, and then we will go to the definition of statistics and we'll start learning it from there. So the the paragraph reads like this: the Food and Drug Administration, that is FDA, and you all are aware of what is FDA. So the Food and Drug Administration is in final testing of a new drug that cures prostate cancer. Again, most of you must be knowing what is prostate cancer. In 80% of clinical trials, so it is curing, that drug cures prostate cancer in 80% of clinical trials, with only 2% incidence of undesirable side effects. Right, so the drug is having 2% cases where there is undesirable side effects. Prostate cancer is the second largest medical killer of men. The first one may be heart attacks, okay, of men, and there is no present cure, right? So various drug manufacturers keep on trying different cures, but there is no perfect cure for it. The director of research must forward finding, right? The director of research of the drug company, the drug organizations, must forward the findings to FDA, right, on whether to release the drug for general use. She will do that only if, now whether to release or not, that depends on the confidence. So she will do that, she will release the drug only if she can be more than 99% certain, she can be more than 99% certain that there won't be any significant difference between the undesirable side effects in clinical tests that and those in general population using the drug. So what she is trying to establish with a 99% confidence that the clinical trial tests are saying 2%, less than 2% undesirable effects. But whether she is 99% confident that the same result she will get in general population when it is, drug is, given to many, patients across the whatever, regions or whatever. So what is the confidence level of that 2%, whatever you are claiming, how many times? That means what? If you take 100 times you do the sampling, at least 99% or even more than 99% of time, you will get less than 2% undesirable effects. So if this is what is happening, then you can release the drug. So now she can't do it by giving it to the all population and then start collecting data. No, based on the sample, whether she can develop that confidence level, whether she can get 99% confident that whatever we are getting results from the sample will hold true in general population. Now this is, so what they are saying is that, so these are the there are statistical methods that can provide her basis of making that important decision. So that is what we are going to learn about the confidence level. But I just gave you a example so that you start understanding where we are going to go, how the applications will be. Okay, but it doesn't mean that there will be still 1% chance, right? When we say 99%, in fact, in management decision making, we don't even go up to 99%. We just say 95%. So we take 5% risk. So when we take a decision, already what we are saying, that decision will hold true in 95% of cases. But 5% of cases, this decision will be a bad decision. Are you getting it? So it depends. In certain cases, there is too much of fluctuation, and there is too much of what you call uncertainty levels are very high. Even the management decision making goes up to 90%. But please understand, we cannot go ahead without decision making. ठीक है, 90% है मतलब 10% times it may be wrong, but we have to take a decision with that 90% confidence level, with a complete understanding that 10% का loss होने का chance है, right? So that is what is statistics all about. Nothing concrete, but we cannot do away not having statistics. We have to have it because we have to go forward and make a quality decisions, which may go wrong. Okay, with this introduction of statistics and statistics for management especially, let us just start with some definitions. So there are two statisticians whose definitions are quite famous. So I am going to read out the definition. I am not going to write the definitions. You can get them from books, or maybe even from, you can Google them. The first statistician is Spiegel. So we are going to learn Spiegel's definition. Definitions are not going to be asked in the exam, please. But you have to understand them, right? So to understand the scope of statistics, right? So Spiegel's definition we will read, and the second is Sechrist. S-E-C-R-I-S-T. Spiegel's definition, Sechrist's definition. I don't know why I am putting D capital. Actually, it should be small d, but I have done it already. Okay, so these two definitions, I will just read it out, and you can get them. But let us just understand what is statistics from these two statisticians' viewpoint. First is Spiegel's definition. So statistics is concerned with scientific method for collecting, organizing, summarizing, presenting, and analyzing data, as well as drawing valid conclusions and making reasonable decisions on the basis of such analysis. So everywhere that flexibility is there, or that this way, that way is there. Reasonable decisions, okay, valid conclusions, like that. Okay, so this is what Spiegel says, and it clearly says that data collection, organizing the data, summarizing the data, presenting, analyzing, and then drawing valid conclusions. Actually on similar lines, even Sechrist also defines statistics as aggregate of facts affected to a marked extent by multiplicity of causes. So the facts which you are collecting, even you should understand that they are also getting affected because of multiplicity of causes, multiplicity of factors. Even the data, whatever you are collecting, is a result of so many factors which also keep on changing. So you should have that understanding that this data I am collecting is the data right now. Maybe after 2 hours, maybe after 2 days, maybe after 2 months, if you try to collect the data, it will be a different data altogether. Okay. So multiplicity of causes numerically expressed. So statistics always convert most of the things into numeric. And you must have seen, fairness advertisements. They also start using a scale. They put the scale, and then there is a fairer, little bit more fairer, little bit more and more fairer, and little bit dark shades. And then they are putting number 1, 2, 3, 4. What they are doing? Fairness is a qualitative aspect, but we are trying to quantify it. We are trying to quantify it by putting that scale and matching your face color with that, and then noting down the number. And then when you collect such numbers from whatever survey you are doing, then you can start analyzing it. So what we have done, we have quantified the data, even the qualitative data. Okay, so numerically expressed data has to be there. Then enumerated, estimated according to reasonable standards of accuracy. Right, so you have to have, even that scale has to be reasonably accurate. Collected in a systematic manner, so no place for haphazard approach. So if you want to do a survey, first do a good table work. Okay, decide what you want to collect, decide how you will collect, decide from whom you will collect, decide how, in what method you will collect, like that. So go systematic for a predetermined purpose, right? So you have to first have the purpose in mind. You have to think about why you are collecting the data. So purpose has to be clear. And then once you collect the data, you and placed in relationship with the other. So this is what Secris says: aggregate of facts affected to a marked extent by multiplicity of causes, numerically expressed, enumerated, estimated according to a reasonable standards of accuracy, collected in a systematic manner for a predetermined purpose, and placed in relation to each other. So if you just look at this definition, both the definitions, first there is a step-by-step approach. Okay, so steps involved in statistical study, you can even Google them and you will get all the steps. I am not here to give the steps. All this is theoretical. We are going to do much more numerical, actually working with the data. But you have to have a good amount of background. But none of them, I'm telling you again, is going to be asked in the exam. But that doesn't mean that you will not enjoy it. You have to read it, enjoy it, understand it. So your steps involved is you have to first understand the problem. You have to make a statement of the problem, because if you don't write it down, you don't know the problem. You are just guessing what is the problem. So you have to write the statement of the problem, and then you start collecting the data, deciding how to collect the data. So designing of your data collection is the next step. Then all that, those steps you can say. So steps involved in statistical analysis is also the similar steps involved in research, similar steps involved in market research. Okay. Now, what are the major understanding you should develop from this definition is, first of all, aggregate of facts. So if you see a single value, if I tell you, okay, the Indian GDP growth is 4.5%, or maybe say 9%, okay, this year. Okay, it's just one single year. You are telling me, I don't understand head and tail. I GDP calculation, I'm not interested. What I'm interested, why we track GDP, whether the country is growing or whether the country is going down, or whether the country's performance is same. Country means country's economy. That is the purpose. So unless I tell you what was the growth rate previous year, what was the growth rate of last 5 years, etc., etc., or you say your growth rate this year is so and so, and China's growth rate is so and so, and USA's growth rate is so and so. Now you have something to compare, and then you can start getting some meaning out of it. So single value of any statistic has no relevance. So that is what they say, aggregate of facts, right? So that is one thing. Then statistics is affected by number of factors, so that you have to understand. So it is not a steady thing. You decided or you calculated something 3 months back, is going to remain today. In fact, that is a big problem. That's why digital is becoming so and so important. Earlier, what used to happen? The data collection itself, companies even don't know how much they are selling. Sale means really how much is purchased by customers, they don't know. If a company is selling across India, they don't know how much they are selling. What they know is how much they are dispatching. How much they are dispatching from their warehouses, that they know. But that is just one stage within your sales process. But in case, suppose the retailers, when they stock, if suppose nobody buys, or there is some issue, and that is what has happened with Cadbury's and all that, there was some issue and suddenly nobody is buying. So for company, they don't know, they don't have eyes to understand what is happening at the retailers, how much is actually getting purchased and consumed. So then that is why they want market research companies or field research companies. But even the earlier, what is to happen, field research companies will collect data from the market at different places in India over a period, maybe over a period of 2 months, 2 weeks, all that. Then they will bring that data to a center, then that will get analyzed and all that. The whole process may take 2 months. So when the figure comes to the company, it is already 2 months back what they have collected from the retailers. So still the company is doing blind. They don't know at this moment what is happening. They don't know. So this is what is digital becoming, why it is important. You have to have means that whatever is really happening at the retailer level is immediately captured, analyzed and made available to the company. No time. In 2 days, 1 day, you should get the whole idea. Then you know what is you are actually current with the market situation. So that is what, because it is the statistics is affected by many factors. Accuracy of data, are you really collecting the data properly, right? Or your field people are just putting some figures. They are not serious, they are not properly trained, they are not professionals. Maybe they are just coming there. I have seen sometimes even the census data which happens every 10-11 years, some people were filling at the railway station. Who is going to go to buildings and ask how many are there in your family and all that? So they have to, some target is there, so they are sitting at the railway station and filling up data. Is this data valid? Is this data accurate? No. So accuracy of data is very important. Then systematic, not haphazard approach. So that is very obvious. You have to have systematic approach. And then statistic, whatever you are saying, you have to place in reference to other. That is what you are presenting. When you are presenting, you have to have a reference. Then you start making meaning of it. So this is what is statistics, and these two definitions are all about. So basically, what you are going to also check, I'll just note down here. Okay, steps in statistical study. Although we have discussed about this, all this you are going to find it from your own homework, from your own sources. There are books in the library also, and I think you must have been also given some books. Have they given you some books? Are you having some books with you at home?
Yes, sir.
So just check whether there is any statistics book is there in that, so you can get those definitions there. Whether this Levin and Rubin is given to you, actually it is a bit costly book, but there are enough copies in the library, so please check. And in fact I think you people, do you have the e copy of this, the soft copy of this book, Levin and Rubin? I think I must be having it. Just CR should remind me. I think it is there in my home computer. If it is there, I will give it to you so that you all have the book with you. Okay, so CR should remind me. I will, if it is there, I will send it across. Okay. So Now let us just discuss. Actually, we discussed this aspect, but I'll just again I'll just note it down here. So we are also discuss importance of statistics in business. Actually, one thing we have to understand is that uh, the data collection is not just only happening in the field, in the market, in the sales aspect. No, everywhere. Even the HR department keeps on collecting data, right? And keeps on analyzing data, right? Even the your quality control people definitely keep on collecting data in production, or even the from the customers, whatever is material dispatch, what is the quality of that dispatch. So quality related data is again captured, and then that is analyzed. Not only that, the corporates itself do collect data about uh, what is the actually sort of we call it image or brand value of their brand as such in the minds of people, or what is the general, when say when Tata is a name which is which is associated with what by the general public, and then they want to work on it, and they may be planning a particular strategy to change it, because when they do that, that has an what do you call impact on all of its products, right? So lot of departments within their organizations do undertake data collection, analyzing of data. Based on that, they start making decisions, making strategies. So everywhere, okay. Sometimes there is a, even the exporters, export import, they collect the data not only from your country but from different countries, and they analyze it. Engineering people keep on collecting data of machine failures, right? Or maybe what is the amount of energy they are consuming. So are we really, is the machine due for much maintenance, because it will start suddenly, your air conditioner at home, if you do not change filter in time, your bill will shoot up, the air conditioner bill. So you have to know a lot of things. You have to keep on collecting. The banking and insurance is a business which totally runs on data analysis and making decisions. Mutual funds, advertisement, when you air an advertisement, whether it has really achieved the impact which was supposed to have achieved. So again you have to do survey, again you have to go to the people, collect data, analyze data. Some people will say yes, it was good. Some people will say yes, but it was not so good. In fact, the competitors advertisement is better. So different views, then you collect the data, analyze it. So all this requires statistics. So statistics is everywhere throughout the all the functions of the department. Okay, so that is what is the importance of statistics in business. Now let us talk about limitations of statistics. Now, as we have already discussed that it is not going to give you 100% concrete results. Okay, always you have to go with certain confidence level. We will be using that confidence level term again and again later on, because we are going to do calculations with it. So the confidence level, sometimes it will be 90%, 95%, 99%. So what happens is that there is always a chance of your thing going wrong. So that is one big limitations. Then there are certain things where statistics cannot be used unless you develop proper quantification of that particular aspect, which is not always possible. In fact, that is what, for example, your emotions, the love, for example, love or anger, you are not yet, that's an important aspect. It's an important aspect of a person, right? But it is still not, you have not yet developed a scale like you have developed for your skin color. So there are various areas where statistics can't be used because you have not quantified the things. Okay, but again there are efforts being done by the researchers, by the scientists. For example, love, between two persons, for example, can be, usually gets expressed in various forms. So can we capture those variables? For example, just to give an example, how many times they meet each other, or maybe nowadays you are not meeting each other. How many times you try to send text? That can be one variable. If you capture that variable, ठीक है, ये बंदा, he has 10 girlfriends or 10 friends, but out of that only 2 girlfriends he sends 20 texts every day, but others he sends just 1 or 2 texts. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to quantify his emotions towards that girl, right? Similarly, girl to boy also doesn't matter, but I'm just giving an example. So there are efforts done by that is what we call developing a scale. There is no scale available, but you can do a research and you can develop a scale. Okay, if you want to find out the amount of love, you get the data on this, and when you combine it in a certain proportion, you will get to quantify the love the person has for the other person. Are you getting it? So quantification is still not done in many cases, which are important aspects, and hence that's a limitation for statistics. But the efforts are on towards it. We are not going to give up. We want to quantify everything, right? So then the data collected gets influenced by so many aspects. That's a limitation again, because if the situation changes, the whole thing changes. Now COVID has really demonstrated it very well. Everything changes. So that's what. So it is highly dependent on the actual situations at ground, and hence it is the limitation. Then same data can give different conclusions, different understandings. So that is also a limitation. Then it is highly depends on the person who is analyzing it. So his expertise level, his understanding, so gets influences. So not only the external factors influence the data itself, the person who is analyzing, his levels of understanding influence the final conclusions. Okay, and so these are the limitations of the data. Now let us come to the we have seen uses of data, but there are always many misuses of statistics, and this is a big issue, right? Now under this there are various what do you call classifications, you can say, misuses of data. First is unfair comparison. So when you say that GDP growth, so and so percent, but you don't compare it with the last 2 years GDP growth, where actually there was a solid drop in the actual GDP, and now you are growing it back to the normal. Same is in COVID, what is happening. So there is no point in really boasting about your GDP growth, because last 2 years you have dropped by 20% every year, or whatever, 7-8% every year. And now, so if you have dropped from the normal level 8% in 1 year, another 10% in another layer, so maybe approximately 15% you were down. Now suddenly you increase by 10%. From the normal you are still down by 5% now. You are still down by 5%. But you will boast it like that, oh, we have done it, 15% growth rate, last 3 years, highest growth rate, and all that. You are playing with the emotions, playing with the people. But that's what is the misuse of statistics, very, very oftenly done. And sometimes, managers, business, what do you call, very, very matured companies do this. But that's what is all about business also, right? So the best thing is that investor, in case, or whoever is the business person who is taking decision based on that data, must be really, what you call, aware of all the dangers. Okay. Then, so the best thing is that sometimes you compare not only with the years, with different regions. Okay. So when you see, for example, I'll just give you some example. When you look at India's growth and you compare with growth of, say for example, agriculture, with US or with maybe China or somewhere. Now agriculture, the most important variable of agriculture is the land available to you, the land which is available to you. Now when you compare the land under India, under the management of India, and compare to China and Russia or USA, you know that it is almost five times. China is almost three to four times. USA is almost 5 times. And now you know that basic thing, and still you are comparing the agricultural growth rate, and then the base of comparison itself is wrong, right? So all this really is misuses of statistics for business purposes, but you should be able to really understand it. Sometimes what they do, which I have seen personally happening when in my presence. See, so there was it happened. My boss used it when I was in Nigeria. So there was a big issue, and in our plant, and there was big fire, and we lost man-hours very, very badly, and there were series of fires. So 2 months our sales were totally pathetic, and we were totally down. Okay, no sales, no material was there, and all that, big problem. So, but when the board of directors, our owner, and along with him the CEO came, and we were having a presentation, the way he presented, out of 12 months, those 2 months he removed separately. Okay, so the 10 months he presented greatly, almost 40 minutes, 30 minutes he talked about that, because his performance was excellent, our plant performance was excellent, and we have really did great things. And those 2 months he just put one slide, we had some hard times, and these 2 months we were down, and so we separated out, that's it, and which I have communicated. But because of that, the entire year's performance was actually gone. But the way he presented full stress on this statistics. So whatever is good looking, he spent more time on it, and ultimately the owner and the CEO were impressed. They said, yes, you are doing good job, continue. So this is what happens, is that you tend to suppress bad part of bad projections, and you use the good projections. So this is also a misuse of statistics, but it happens. And but to be very frank, you will be sometimes will be forced to do it in management. but you should know that it's not good, and in your heart you should know that okay, you have not performed well. Unless you go there, then you are performing well. You should know, and your team should know. Sometimes that projection can be different, but your team should clearly know that we have not done good, and we have to really pull up our socks, and we have to do better next year. Okay, so this is about the misuses of statistics. Now let us come to the divisions, different types of statistics. We call it subdivisions of statistics. Okay. Now in subdivisions we have two different types of statistics. One is called as the descriptive statistics, and the other one is called as inferential. Okay. Is this not visible? Let me just come back. Just give me 2 minutes. I don't know what happened, but my mobile suddenly has stopped. Okay, I think my mobile has gone. So let me, I'll be using some other way of doing the things here, but luckily we are not going to do much big calculations today. So it was almost 70% right now, and suddenly it has become zero. I don't know. I have to check battery maybe. So descriptive statistics. So when you are using the statistics to describe something, right? So when you collect data and you are trying to find out what is the mean value, what is the median value, what you are trying to do, you are trying to explain that data, to someone so that they understand the complete information about the data. So you are describing the data. So descriptive statistics. So there are various ways in which you can use descriptive statistics. But the moment you start going to the next level, that is, now you want to establish some relationship between the variables, right? If my what you call number of sales people, if I increase, what is the increase I will get in my sales revenue, right? Or if I increase my number of retailers, how much my sales can go up. So something like that. So what are you trying to do? You are trying to establish relationship between the two variables. Why you are doing that? Because you want to use that for better understanding and maybe doing some kind of forecasting, and maybe based on that you will take some quality decisions. So when you are doing this, you are using inferential statistics. Again, it is based on the data only, but now you are now developing models based on that. Again, here also you will be using the confidence levels, the probabilities, etc. But your purpose is to develop models and predict future, the business things. So that is what is inferential statistics. So the correlation, it starts with correlation, regression, forecasting, all these things come under the inferential statistics, whereas mean, mode, median, standard deviation, variance, all that comes under the descriptive statistics. Okay, so now let us start working on some kind of data, and we'll take a small break. It's almost 4 o'clock, right? And we will now start with the data Yeah, okay. So we will start with data types, and then we'll start doing some kind of playing around with data. We'll develop. In fact, I want to reach up to graphs, but difficult. But doesn't matter. Maybe next lecture onwards we'll increase the speed. Okay, because the first lecture I have to give you a good other aspects of understanding of the data and its relationship, or statistics and its relationship with management. Okay, so we'll take a quick break, 10 minutes. So 4:10. So can we come back at 4:10? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.